Hey everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Tom.
And I'm Jenna, glad to be joining you all again. I'm really excited for today's episode, Tom.
Me too, Jenna. We're diving into a pretty fun question today, so thanks for tuning in, wherever you're listening from.
And remember, this is your podcast to practice listening and learn real English with real conversations.
So let's get to our topic. If you could bring just one item to a deserted island, what would you choose? It's a classic, right?
Totally! This question always gets interesting answers. It's a chance to show what you value, or how you'd try to survive, or maybe just what you can't live without.
You know, before we pick our items, let's set the scene. When I think of a deserted island, I imagine a tiny patch of land, palm trees, maybe some coconuts, surrounded by endless ocean.
I picture something similar, but maybe with a few wild animals to keep things interesting. The key is, you're all alone, and resources are super limited.
Exactly, and that means your one item has to count. It could be for comfort, survival, or maybe entertainment. All right, Jenna, I've actually thought about this way too much. If I had to choose, I'd bring a survival multi-tool. You know, one of those gadgets that has a knife, a saw, maybe a fishing hook.
Oh, going practical! That would definitely help with building shelter, finding food, or even opening coconuts. Are you planning to be the next Robinson Crusoe?
Honestly, I'd probably just end up making a mess with it, but I like the idea. I'm not that handy, but a multi-tool gives you a shot at making life a little easier out there.
I get that. Plus, it's tiny but versatile. Having one thing that does a bunch of jobs could be a lifesaver. Still, I'm wondering, would you actually know how to use half of those tools?
I'd probably have to figure it out on the fly. But hey, that's half the adventure.
Now I'm curious what you think of my pick. I would actually bring a huge, waterproof notebook and pen. Hear me out.
Interesting. That's not what I expected. Are you planning to write your story as you survive?
Exactly. I don't know if I'd last long, but at least I could keep a journal, sketch what I see, or even leave messages in a bottle. It would help me feel connected, even if no one's around.
That's actually really thoughtful. Emotional survival is just as important as physical. Having something to do, or a way to organize your thoughts, could keep you sane.
Totally. Sometimes just having a routine or a creative outlet makes all the difference. I know for me, writing things down helps me process stuff, especially when things get stressful.
And on a deserted island, stressful is probably an understatement.
Now I'm thinking, a lot of people might choose something for comfort, like a favorite book or a cozy blanket. But I wonder how long comfort would last without the basics covered.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance. At first, a book might be great, but when you're cold or hungry, you might wish you had something more useful.
Still, I'd probably read my notebook entries over and over just to pass the time. Maybe comfort and survival aren't so different after all.
Some people go totally wild with this question. I've heard answers like a solar-powered satellite phone or an inflatable boat. That feels a bit like cheating, but hey, at least they're thinking creatively.
I know. Someone once told me they'd bring a giant mirror to signal passing ships. That's clever, but I'd probably just end up checking my sunburns in it.
Or maybe using it to scare off a curious seagull. You never know what'll happen on that island.
This is actually a great question for language learners too. It helps practice phrases like, if I could bring one thing, I would choose, or I prefer because.
Absolutely. And you hear a lot of modal verbs, like would, could, might. Practicing those makes your English sound more natural and flexible.
Plus, these types of questions encourage you to explain your reasoning, which is so important for conversation.
Actually, I'd love to hear what our listeners would pick. If you're learning English, try answering this for yourself. What's your one item, and why?
And if you want to practice writing or speaking, share your answer in the comments, or say it to a friend. It's a fun way to build confidence and vocabulary.
Who knows? Maybe you'll inspire us with a super creative answer for our next episode.
It's wild how a simple question can spark so many ideas. I always get new insights just chatting with you, Tom.
Same here, Jenna. Whether you're all about survival or you just want to keep yourself entertained, there's really no wrong answer.
And if today's topic got you thinking, try asking your friends or classmates. You'll be amazed at the variety of answers you'll hear.
All right, that's a wrap for this episode. Thanks so much for joining us on the English Learning Podcast.
Before you go, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We've got lots more fun topics and language tips coming your way.
And if you enjoyed today's chat, share the podcast with a friend or maybe even a fellow castaway.
We'll see you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
Until then, keep practicing, keep listening, and imagine what you'd pack for your deserted island adventure. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.